Namo Buddhaya, brother and sister in the Dhamma. We shall start our class now. So before we begin, we shall have a brief overview of our scheduled meetings. As we have known, we have already done 3 classes and we are now doing class 4. After that, we shall have a short Chinese New Year break and we shall resume on the 12th of February. The program for today, we shall start with our opening chanting. Then we have a quick review of the previous chapter, chapter 4, Sugato. Then we'll proceed into the lesson per se, that is chapter 5, Lokavitu, and then chapter number 6, Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati, followed by question and answer. The 5th program will be Buddha Nusati meditation. And we shall like to ask for your permission to extend for about 15 minutes for a special promotion session. Let's fold our palms together with a composed mind. Let us pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. We shall take refuge in the triple gem. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi sanghang saranang gacchami. Taking the 5 precepts. Panatipata veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Adinna dana veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Sura mirya macca pamatatana veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Buddha Nusati. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vicca charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now I will hand over to Brother Lim as the facilitator for today. Thank you. Over to you, Brother Lim.
Namo Buddhaya, Sukhiyanto, brothers and sisters. Okay, welcome to today's class. Okay, we will do a quick revision of the previous lesson, Sugato. And Sister Sumitra and Brother Ken, can you please look at the WhatsApp? After I've done a quick review of the chapter for last week. Okay, so in chapter 4, Sugato normally is written as the well-gone one in most chanting books. Okay, so basically there are 2 aspects, or even 3 if you want to, of Sugato: come rightly and gone rightly. So gone rightly refers to the Buddha's journey of practice to perfect the 10 parami. Okay, so the 10 parami is on the right hand side. We got Dana, Sila, Likama, Panya, Viriya, Kanti, Satya, Metta, Aditana, Upeka. Okay, and one of the things we learn about the parami that it does not only relate to the Buddha, it also relates to us lay people. And we realize that in order to attain enlightenment, we too have to perfect our parami. Okay, as we have learned, Buddhahood, they have 10 parami in three what you call intensity. So there's actually 30 parami to be perfected, while a Pachika Buddha is 20 parami. And for Arahanthood, for us aspiring to get enlightened, we need to perfect minimum 10 paramis. So the Buddha's journey to perfect the 10 paramis since he was the ascetic Sumedha, okay, through many yawns of life, in order to be reborn as a Bodhisattva in the last birth to gain enlightenment. Okay, without the Buddha, there is no Dhamma. Gone rightly. God rightly means the Buddha trading the Noble Eightfold Path. That means the Buddha himself attained the 4 stages of sainthood leading to Nibbana. And whatever the Buddha taught us, the Buddha himself experienced it, practiced it, and whatever the Buddha taught us, it is possible within our ability to attain enlightenment. Otherwise, the Buddha would not have taught us. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, and the last aspect of Sukhato, meaning speaking rightly. So the Buddha only speak true words, connected with good, meaning it must be beneficial to oneself and also beneficial to others. So that is a very good guide for us when we practice right speech and at the right place and the right time. So as you look at the chart here on the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So anything that is untrue, the Buddha will not speak. The Buddha will also not speak, even though it is true, but if it's not beneficial to others or to oneself. Okay. However, the Buddha will speak words that are true and beneficial to oneself and others. Okay. Irrespective whether it is pleasing or not displeasing, agreeable or disagreeable, but the Buddha have this ability to say this at the proper time. So for us lay people, we do not have such skillful means, so we need to practice more mindfulness, okay, when we practice right speech in our daily life. Okay, next please. Okay, before we start, is the video ready? The vision?
Yeah, okay.
Dear sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, Happy New Year. In a year of the Tiger 2022, with mindfulness, ardent effort, and wisdom, I wish you to achieve prosperity, both mundane and supra-mundane.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's start today's lesson. Okay, today's lesson, Loka Vidu. Loka means the world. Vidu means knowing or skill in. Next. So Loka Vidu means knower of the world. The Buddha understands every aspect of the world, okay, both physical and mental phenomena. So knower of the world also means that the Buddha knows that all worlds comprise only dukkha. Stressful phenomena means dukkha, because whatever is conditioned will cease. Okay, then if in the book that we have learned is about the Rohitassa Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya 2.26, where one of the devas wanted to reach the end of the world, and of course he didn't manage to. And this is what is mentioned in Rohitassa Sutta. It is not to be reached by traveling the end of the world, and it's not without reaching the end of the world that there is release from suffering and stress. So truly, the wise one, an expert with regard to the world, a knower of the end of the world, having fulfilled the holy life, calm, knowing the world's end, doesn't long for this world or for any other. So the message is to reach the end of the world where there's release from dukkha, we have to walk the path ourselves. The Buddha said, you yourself must strive diligently. The Blessed One only indicates the path. So the Buddha knows these three worlds. Next slide, please. The world of formation, Sankhara Loka. The world of being, Sattaloka. And the world of space, Okasa Loka. Next. So the world of formations or Sankhara consists of Namarupa, the mind and the body, the 5 aggregates, the Panchakanda, and the 12 bases, and the 18 elements. Okay, so as we know that the 18 elements, okay, is part and parcel of this samsara, and we as Putujana, okay, translated literally means producer of defilements. Okay, okay, so when the 12 internal base and the 6 internal base and the 6 external base comes together, then the consciousness will rise as vipaka, and it will produce defilements, whether we like it or not. Okay, if something that is good, there will be craving. Something that we don't like, there will be aversion. So defilements are part and parcel of our life, but it is through defilements that we can gain insight and work ourselves towards enlightenment by discerning the characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta via vipassana meditation, impermanence, suffering, and not self. Next. So the world of beings, Sattaloka, refers to the 31 planes of existence. Next. So the Buddha fully understands all inhabitants in the cosmos, including their dwelling places, appearances, and lifespan. It is in the suttas. Okay, and many modern scholars scorn this off, says it doesn't believe in this. Okay, but it is in the suttas. Okay, the world of space. The Buddha has complete knowledge of the universe and each world system. Okay, even before science, okay, discovered the Big Bang and all this, how the world system come into being, the Buddha has already complete knowledge, okay, of the whole universe. Next, please. The 5 aggregates, this is just a brief rundown. We have Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, okay, Volution, and Vijnana, okay, Sankara. And then next, the 12 pieces, the 6 sense base, internal, and the 6 sense object, external, okay? And of course, the elements, 6 sense base, and of course, the 6 consciousness. Okay, so this is a very good holistic view of the Sankara Loka, of the world of formations. Next, please.
Father Lim, if I may ask, this is part of Abhidhamma.
Yes.
This last slide you just discussed, 12 bases and 18 elements is part of Abhidhamma Sutta.
It is found in the Abhidhamma, it is also found in the suttas.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Both, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the Visuddhimagga, the 7 stages of purification. Okay, I will not go through this because this is quite profound. Okay, so it's not within the context in this class, but you can ask questions about this through the WhatsApp. Next. Okay, 31st plane of existence. Okay, so we have the pleasant one, Sukati. Okay, and we have the unpleasant one. Okay, so we have the 31 planes. So let's start with Kama Dukati, okay, which is the sense pleasure. Okay, planes of misery, Apaya Bhumi. Okay, so there are actually 4 Apaya Bhumi, with the lowest, Niraya, hell, Tirachana, animals. Then we have Peta, the hungry ghosts, and of course the Asuras. And then we have the human realm. There is the Manusa Loka, the world that we are in now, followed by the 6 heavens. Okay, so there's 7 realms here. And you notice that the highest realm, Mara, resides here. So Mara is actually a Deva, a very, very powerful Deva. Okay, and we have Tusita here. Okay, right, Tusita heaven, and all bodhisattvas, past, present, and future, okay, will be reborn in Tusita heaven before the last birth as a human being. Okay, and this is Tawatimsa heaven, where the Buddha taught the Abhidhamma out of filial piety to the mother who was reborn, okay, as a Deva in Tusita heaven. Okay, so he came down. Okay, yeah, next. Yeah, then we have the 16 Rupa Brahmas. These are the Brahma world. Okay, 5 material world. Okay, and how to be reborn there is through samatha meditation. First jhana till your 4th jhana. Okay, so here is very pure. Okay, except take note of minus ansanya sata. In this plane, there is no mind. Okay, only rupa. Okay, so if there's no mind, is it good? You can never gain enlightenment there because there's no mind. Okay, that's why are we reborn there? You're reborn there because of craving. Okay, so just take note of this. This is a very special plane. Okay, next. Then we have the Arupa Loka, where we are reborn there through the practice of Arupa Jhana. Okay, so both are the Brahma realms. They are very pure. Okay, but the Devas are not. the devas live in live essential pleasures, you know. Okay, they are born there because of the good karma they perform during their previous life. Okay, so there were actually some contentions whether which plane to be born. Yeah, next please. Yeah, so this is, you can have a look when you do your revision. Next. Next. Okay, why is the Buddha called knower of the world? Sharing, please, from participants, please, volunteers. Yeah, let's do a fast one. We have very limited time. Don't waste time. Yeah. Yes, Brother Prajit from India. Yeah, please.
The Buddha is aware of the 31 planes of existence.
Yes. Okay.
One.
Yeah.
He is aware of the heavens.
Yes.
And he is also aware of the current, where we are currently right now, the earthly existence.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
why, and he is in control of the 5 aggregates.
Okay.
So all this put together is why he is known as Loka Vidu. Loka means world, Vidu means the knower.
So there are 3 worlds, right? There are
Yes.
3 worlds. Yeah.
Yes.
So knower of the worlds also means that the Buddha knows that all the world comprised only of dukkha, stressful phenomena, because whatever is conditioned will cease. So in Majjhima Nikaya 22 on page 92 of the book, bhikkhus, both formally and now, what I teach is dukkha and the sensation of dukkha. Okay? So that's what the world is all about. Dukkha and the sensation of dukkha. Just as monks, the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt. So monks, this Dhamma Vinaya has one taste, the taste of freedom. Udana 5.5, Anguttara Nikaya 8.19. So because the Buddha fully knows all the worlds, he is called Lokavidu. Next, please. Okay, anyone want to share what are the 3 worlds? Very easy. And what are the characteristics of each? Anyone, please?
The 3 worlds will consist of our human world. That's one, where everything is conditioned, the formations and the conditions. Then the second one will be the 31 realms of existence, which is the what do you call it? The 31 realms of existence. And then the third one is, of course, the space, the world of space, where the Buddha actually saw how the universe was formed, you know, the hells and all that kind of thing. So these are the 3 worlds.
Just to add on, okay, the first one is do not just refer to the human world. It actually refer to the 31 planes. Okay, as long as you are in samsara, okay, we are in the sankhara world. Okay, as long as in samsara, unless we get out of samsara. Next, please. Thank you, Sister Yvonne. So 31 planes of existence. No need to go into detail. That's an overall view of the 31 planes. And share which world do you wish to be born and why? Your own personal perspective. Sister Siritara? She wants to be born as a Deva, right?
Well, I mean, here is the thing though. Number one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, if we reborn in the human world, that means like in the human world is which is actually the good one. It's good because then we have like there are suffering, right? Which we can face on it, we can practice on it. But my question is, since when we reborn, it's based on the last thought, right? In our consciousness, right? So how about if then we reborn in a country or in a place that is not actually good, or let's say poverty? How can then we practice if we are reborn in that situation? That is like I mean, in my opinion, there's like also a dilemma. If we reborn in the human world, if we reborn as a human in a good destination where we can practice, that is perfect. That is actually the dream, right?
Yes.
But if we don't reborn, but if we reborn as a human, but in a not a good destination, like in a war country, right, or like a lot of poverty there, that become a challenge,
Correct.
and we maybe go down, right?
Yeah.
But
Correct.
then
Correct.
when I read the sutta about the year, the sutta that I share, right?
Yes.
Where actually in the Dewa world, the Dewa realm, actually there are also some Dewa that can remind us. Probably that's good.
Yeah.
It's
So
just like my opinion.
they are good devas and they are also bad devas. They are also
Yeah.
devas who are the disciples of the Buddha.
Yeah. So both are still actually brotherly. Both actually are still have risks, right?
Yes, definitely. As long as we are in samsara, there's always a risk. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
one of the urgency that we fellow Buddhists or brothers and sisters in the Dhamma should strive on is to attain to get our insurance law. The insurance is actually the attainment of Sotapatti Magapala.
Yeah.
Okay, once we attain Sotapatti, we will be reborn in planes favorable for practice and a
Yeah.
maximum of 7 lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, sister. You're exactly right. There's a condition attached. Okay, there must be favorable condition. Otherwise, it's hell on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other sharing?
Excuse me, Brother Lim.
Yes.
I kind of bit confused over the previous question. What are the three worlds?
Yeah.
So from my understanding is that, I don't know if I'm wrong, the three worlds are the sensual world, the fine material world, and the immaterial world.
Okay. So that is when you look at the 31 planes of existence, that is how you classify it. Okay. Hello, sister?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that is
confused.
referring to the 31 planes of existence. This is how you classify it. But when we talk about the local we do as an attribute of the Buddha, okay, we are looking at the Buddha, knower of the world, from 3 different perspectives. Okay, from the world of formations, okay, Sankara Loka, and from the world of beings, okay, and the world of space. That's how the universe, can be destroyed one day, and then will evolve again. So it will keep on going on endlessly. Okay, for Sankara is the world of samsara. Okay, where we talk about the Namarupa, and in order to get out of samsara, we need to discern dukkha, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And the world of beings is the 31 planes of existence, basically to understand how the law of karma at work. And whatever we do, we will be reborn in that particular plane according to our karma. That's the universal law of karma. Does that answer your questions?
Sorry, I think I was late, so I missed this one, right? That's
Yeah.
okay. I'll do my revision later. Sorry, sorry to disturb that.
Okay.
That's
So is your doubts clarified?
um
The 31
really.
planes refer to the world of beings, Sata Loka. Yeah. And what you mentioned just now, divided into three, that's correct. Okay, there's one way to classify the 31 planes of existence. Yeah.
So the 31 planes actually under the three worlds.
One of the world. They are not separate world, you know. They are not separate world. It's looking at the world from three different perspectives. Okay.
It's not three worlds, it's from three perspectives.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We go back to the questions.
Yeah, I have one question, Brother Lim.
Yeah.
The Arahat, will they go to Sita?
The Arahat goes to where?
To Sita heaven?
The Arahat go to Sita heaven.
Is it or where? Because that will be the place where they will have the last reborn, right?
Or not Arahat.
No.
Bodhisatta.
Bodhisatta.
The Buddha to be, yes.
Oh, I see.
Not Arahat.
Arahan where will they be?
Arahan, if you pass into Parinibbana, no more already, out of samsara.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Bodhisattva. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone want to share in which world? Okay, the last part, in which world do you wish to be born and why? Anyone?
Brother, if you're asking me for my wish.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
There is a proverb in English: "If wishes for horses, fools will ride them." So I would like to be born in Tushita heaven, where I can, meet the other arahants, and probably they will teach me a thing or two of how to go forward.
Yeah. There are people who actually aspire to be born into Sita heaven, okay, because they want to meet the future Buddha. Yes. Yes. Okay, but what happens if the timing is wrong? Okay, and don't forget, before the next Buddha comes into this world, there will be a dark age. So dark age, there is no
Dhamma.
No Dhamma, and it is hell on earth. Okay, so there is the urgency to practice to get out of samsara. Okay.
Brother Lim, this is before the arrival of Maitreya Buddha or after that?
Before.
Before the arrival of Maitreya Buddha.
Yes.
Okay,
you will come a dark age between two Buddhas. Yes, and then Maitreya Buddha will come to save the world from the dark age. But the dark age will be quite long. Be careful. Okay, and now we are already halfway through the Buddha's dispensation. Okay, so we got another few thousand years. So very risky, law. So let us practice, law. Have some vigor, the spiritual agency to attain Sotapatti in this very life. Next slide, please.
Brother Lim, can I ask?
Yeah.
It's not related actually about the 31 realm, right? One of them is like Tawatimsa.
Yeah, Tawatimsa, yeah.
There are only 33 Dewa, right? Live in there. Like how?
Not 33 Dewa. It's the 33 chief Dewa.
Oh, 33 chief Dewa.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is actually ruling that particular heaven.
Oh, but actually there are many in there. More than 33.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's more. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're talking about Tawatimsa, right?
Right.
I think King Saka is there. Yes. King Saka is the king.
Okay.
Yeah. King Saka usually is the disciple of the Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the leader actually 33.
The leader is King Saka plus 32.
Oh, the leader is King Saka, and then there are 33.
Including King Saka is 33.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's start chapter 6. Next, please. Okay, so Anuttaro means unexcelled, incomparable in the special qualities of Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Okay, and actually, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya refers to the Noble Eightfold Path. That's why it's called the knowledge of deliverance or emancipation. Yeah, next. Purisa means span of men, actually, here in this context. And here is Dhamma means to be trained or to be tamed. Okay, next. Sarati means a charioteer, but in this context, charioteer here refers to a leader. Okay, so leader, Purisa Dhamma Sarati refers to leader of man to be trained or to be tamed. Means the Buddha has the ability to train or tame beings that could or should be trained or tamed. Now take note of this. Okay, if a being could not be trained, is not ready to be trained or tamed, even the Buddha cannot enlighten that person. Okay, that's why the Buddha says we got to walk our path. Okay, so the Buddha only has the ability to train those, okay, that are able to be trained or to be tamed. Okay, you need the extra factor. Yeah, next, please. So the Buddha clearly understands beings who have little dust in the eyes, like Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Moggallana. Okay, and talking about Venerable Sariputta, okay, Venerable Sariputta attained the Dhamma eye, that is Sotapatti, Maggapala, by hearing only the first two lines of one stanza. Okay, that stanza was uttered by Venerable Asachi. Okay, and Sariputta as a lay person known as Upatissa. Okay, because he came from the village of Upatissa. Okay, the line is of things that proceed from a cause, their cause, the Tata has told. Okay, that's by hearing these two lines, you know. Okay, Upatissa attained Sotapatti. Okay, there is the Venerable Sariputta. Then for Venerable Moggallana, or as a lay person, Kolita, he attained the Dhamma eye after hearing the four lines of this same stanza. That means the other two lines is, and also the sensation, thus teaches the great ascetic. So these two venerables, okay, of course, Venerable Sariputta is foremost in wisdom. They have very little dust in the eyes through their past parami and practice. That is why they can easily attain enlightenment just by hearing a verse or two from the Buddha. And then there is also people or beings who have a lot of dust in the eyes, just like King Pasenadi of Kosala. Okay, King Pasenadi of Kosala is very, very close to the Buddha. Okay, and he listens to the Dhamma. He sits next to the Buddha. He listens to the Dhamma every day from the Buddha, and yet he could not get enlightened. Not even Sotapatti. Okay, so remember the third attribute, Vicha Charana Sampanno, that we have learned. that if a person has knowledge, here knowledge we refer to insight knowledge, but is lacking in conduct, even though he is capable of penetrating the Dhamma, chances of meeting the right spiritual teacher is very, very slim. So even if a person in this life, okay, he has insight knowledge, but is very lacking in conduct. So he actually is capable to penetrate the Dhamma, but the chances of him to meet the right teacher for guidance to enlightenment is very slim. Likewise, okay, King Pasenadi, okay, he is perfect in conduct, but not accompanied by knowledge in his previous life. That is why even though he hears the Buddha, sit next to the Buddha, every day hearing Dhamma from the Buddha, and yet cannot get enlightened. So much so that in Samyutta Nikaya, there is a sutta called Kosala Samyutta. So Kosala Samyutta records all the Dhamma talk discourses from the Buddha, okay, to King Kosala. Okay, so take note of the attribute of Vichacharana Sampanno. Both are equally important. Then we have much keen intelligence to hear the profound Dhamma. We have the first five ascetics. Okay, and only through the second discourse by the Buddha, there is the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, okay, the characteristic of not self. All the five bhikkhus or ascetic gain arahanthood. Okay, and people who are easily trained and difficult to train. Okay, people who are easy to train like Venerable Khema. Okay, by the way, we often know that foremost in wisdom is Venerable Sariputta, but do we know that foremost female disciple of the Buddha who is foremost in wisdom is Venerable Khema? Okay, Venerable Khema is the female disciple of the Buddha that is foremost in wisdom. Okay, and Venerable Khema is actually the chief consort of King Bibisara. Okay, and to tell you the story, she's a very beautiful queen, and she's very conceited and attached to her beauty. So King Bibisara wanted his queen to listen to the Buddha's teaching. So he arranged musicians to describe in song the beauty of the grove the Buddha was staying to attract Khema. Okay, so Khema one day was attracted by the music, okay, and then walked towards the grove where the Buddha was giving a discourse. With psychic powers, the Buddha created the vision of an exquisite, beautiful maiden fanning him by the side. Okay, so by looking at such a beautiful maiden fanning the Buddha by the side, Khema's pride was subdued, okay, by the exquisite beauty of the fanning maiden. So her mind became soft, her conceit was broken, and she's ready to absorb the Dhamma. So what the Buddha did was, through the psychic power, the Buddha made the beautiful maiden age slowly right before her very eyes until the body collapsed with age and become a rotten corpse invested with maggots, slowly decomposing into a heap of bones. So Buddha taught Khema the dangers of lust and transient sensual pleasures, directing her mind to attain arahantship on the spot while still a lay woman. She then received permission from King Bimbisara to go forth. Okay, I will try to look for a clip, a very interesting clip from Thailand. That actually shows, of course, this one is using IT lah. Okay, how the body of a beautiful woman, okay, not age and then become rotten, decompose and all. Okay, it's actually contemplation of the decomposing of the body. Okay, so this is how skillful the Buddha is in trying to enlighten Kema. And then we have Venerable Bahiya. Now, Venerable Bahiya wear bark cloth as his robes. Okay, so when you wear bark cloth, it looks like a very highly attainable forest ascetic. So a Deva informed Venerable Bahiya that he is not an Arahant. People thought he is an Arahant. Okay, because he wore bark cloth, okay, as a very highly attained forest monk. So the Buddha said, the Deva told him, no, you are not. But there is a real Arahant, referring to the Buddha on alms round in Savatthi. So Venerable Bahiya walked day and night to reach Savatthi, requesting the Buddha to teach him the sublime Dhamma. Buddha noticed that Bahiya was exhausted and his mind is highly excited, telling him that it was not a proper time to listen to the Dhamma. So from this discourse, you must know that when we attend Dhamma talk, we must prepare our mind to absorb the Dhamma, okay, and not come rushing, okay, being exhausted, then the mind is not ready to absorb the Dhamma. So when Bahiya has rested and his mind became soft and ready to absorb the Dhamma, the Buddha expounded the Dhamma to him, and Bahiya attained arahantship immediately. Okay, and the most difficult to train is Venerable Uruvela Kassapa, the Kassapa brothers, okay, who practice the fire rituals. Okay, so I will not go into it due to time constraint. Next slide, please. Okay, before that, I just want to share a little bit more. A fast one. Okay, difficult to train also is Angulimala. Okay, all of us are very familiar with Angulimala, who is a serial killer. Okay, in the Kosala kingdom. And the Buddha uses psychic power, okay, to guide him towards enlightenment. Okay, and the Buddha also prevented Angulimala to commit one of the 5 heinous crimes of killing his mother. So Angulimala wanted to get the last of the finger. Okay, going to kill a person for the last. She already got the other, I think 999 fingers or something like that. So he saw the Buddha and he changed the target from the mother to the Buddha. So he went after the Buddha, wanted to kill him, but through the psychic power, okay, he could not reach the Buddha. Okay, then Angulimala told the Buddha, stop running. Then the Buddha says, you know, I have stopped running, but you have not. Okay, so that is the skillful means of the Buddha to prepare the mind for enlightenment. Of course, at the end of the story, Angulimala took refuge and attained enlightenment. So in this Angulimala story, it shows us that the possibility of enlightenment even under the most extreme condition. So never give up hope. And one very interesting thing about Angulimala is the Angulimala Sutta, okay, for easy childbirth. Okay, so Brother Ling Huat will teach us next time. Angulimala Sutta for easy childbirth. Then the next one is difficult to train is Sachaka. Sachaka, how the Buddha subdued Sachaka is by unexcelled debating skills, by straightening the wrong views of others and guide them to the right view. Because Sachaka have this view of a permanent self, of a soul. So Buddha asked Sachaka, if your body is yours and there is a self, are you able to control your body? Okay, let my body be like this and like that. Sataka was cornered, he could not answer. So so he kept quiet, because otherwise, you know, to prove his doctrine was wrong. But if he said yes, he could not prove it. So he kept quiet. So the Buddha asked him repeatedly. And then the Buddha said, one who does not answer a legitimate question by a Tathagata up to 3 times, his head was split into 7 pieces. So Sataka became frightened, admitted he was wrong. Okay, this sutta is found in Majjhima Nikaya 35. Another difficult to train is the man-eater demon, Alavaka, and the Buddha subdued with Metta, Panya, and Kanti. So Alavaka was a yaka, a demon, feeds on human flesh. Even the prince of Alavi kingdom had to be sacrificed. So the Buddha early in the morning surveyed the 3 worlds and his divine eye and decided to guide Alavaka towards Sotapatti, okay, and save the little prince. Buddha went to Alavaka's cave, expounded the Dhamma to the Yakini. Yakini is the female yaka. So this made Alavaka very angry. He called his troops to attack the Buddha. Thunderstorms, whatever weapons could not hurt the Buddha, as they fell like sandalwood powder and pieces of cloth to honor the Buddha. So Alavaka then realized that the power of the Buddha came from his great loving kindness. So he then thought of a plan to make the Buddha angry so that the Buddha lose his power. So he instructed the Buddha to get out and get into the cave 3 times. The Buddha obeyed, you know. Okay, was very patient, obeyed. But in the 4th time, the Buddha said, friend, I will not get out anymore. Then Alavaka said, okay, I will ask you some questions. If you cannot answer, I will split your heart, seize your feet, and throw you into the Ganges River. The Buddha replied that no being is able to do such a thing to a Tathagata. Okay, but you may ask any question you like. So the question here, Alavaka asks, what here is the best wealth? What practice well brings happiness? What is surely the sweetest taste? How lives the one who they say lives best? This is the reply from the Buddha. Faith is a person's best wealth. Dhamma, well practiced, brings happiness. Truth is the sweetest taste. Living one's life wisely is the best of living. So after hearing this, Alavaka attained Sotapatti. This is found in Samyutta Nikaya 10.12. So this is how the Buddha subdued Alavaka with loving kindness, patience, and wisdom. Okay. And to cut it short, Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati, incomparable leader of men to be trained. Ankuttara Nikaya 4.111. The Buddha said, I train a tameable person, sometimes with gentleness, sometimes with harshness, sometimes with both gentleness and harshness. So please check Ankuttara Nikaya 4.11. Next, please. So the ability to subdue those who are difficult to train, okay, like Angulimala use supernatural power, Sachaka use wisdom and debating skills, Alavaka use patience, wisdom, and loving kindness, and Nado Pananda, the Danga king, Venerable Moggallana used the power of mind. Next. Okay, so this is Jaya Mangala Kata. Okay, and many of us chant Jaya Mangala Kata in a lot of chanting books, but do we realize that Jaya Mangala Kata actually depicts the joyous victory of the Buddha, and it connotes the attribute of the Buddha Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati, incomparable leader of man to be trained. Next, please. Of course, we have the main characters in Jaya Mangala Katha, and Mara, fear. Mara will use fear and threaten the Buddha. Next. And then we have Alawaka, which is very arrogant. Next. We have Nalagiri, the angry elephant. And then we have Angulimala, who is deluded because he's misguided by his teacher and he's very stubborn. Yeah, next. And we have Chincha Manika, Manis, okay, where actually the Buddha was accused of making this lady pregnant. Actually, she's not pregnant. Okay, it's actually a scheme to frame the Buddha. And in that story, you will see how the Buddha overcome this. Okay, and then we have next. Okay, we have I couldn't see below the screen. I couldn't see below that, my arrogance. Okay, and then we have Nando Pananda, the Naga King, and then we have Baka, I think. Okay, because I couldn't, yeah, who has wrong view. Next. Okay, now we will have a special chanting by Sister Yvonne Low on the Jaya Mangala Katha, okay, which is relevant to this attribute of Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati. So next time in future, when we chant this, recall to mind this attribute of the Buddha, and let this attribute of the Buddha be an inspiration for us to live our lives. Okay, and she will chant this in memory of Venerable Maliduwa Mahalama Mahavira Mahanayaka Tero, who is the founder of Mangala Vihara Buddhist Temple, Singapore, from 1930 to 2002. May I now invite Sister Yvonne.
Thank you very much, Brother Lim. I would like to dedicate, because when Brother Lim asked me to chant this Jaya Mangala Gatha, I thought of my first chanting teacher, who was Bante Mahavira. So having passed on for many years now, I would just like to recall in memory, firstly to him, to dedicate the merits of this chant to Bante Mahavira, and secondly also to Brother Taning Huat here, who after many years, actually I quite forgot this chant, but Brother Taning Huat has brought this back to memory and he has polished me up. So due credit and merit to you as well, Brother Tan. Thank you for being with us this morning. Also, I would like to honor our first chairman, Brother Kwek Jin Kiat. Yeah, who's also joined us here as a guest. And he was actually my first Dhamma teacher in Metta Lodge. Bahung saha semabinim Mita sayudantang Giri mekalang udita gora Sasena marang Dana didam mavidina Jitava Munindo Tangte Jasa Babatute Chayamang Galani Mara Dire Kamabiyu Jita Sabarating Gorang Pana lavaka matadayakam kanti sudanta vidina jitava munindo tangte jasa bhavatute jayamang galani nala giring gajavarang atimata bhutang dava gichakamasaniva sudarunantang metang buse kavidina jitava munindo tangte jasa bhavatute jayamang galani Oke teka gamati hatta sudarunantang davang tio janapatang gulima levantang Idi bisang katamano jitava munindo tangte jasa bhavatute jayamang galangani Gatvanaka temudarang Iva Gabiniya Chinchay Yaduta Vachanang Janakaya Mangaji Santena som bhavidina jitava munindo tangte jasa bhavatute jayamang galani Sachang vihaya matisa chakavada ketung vada biropita manang atiyan debutang Panya pari pajalito jitava munindo tangte jasa bhavatute jayamang galangani Nando Pananda Bujagang Vibudang Mahiding Puttena Tera Bujagena Dhamma payanto itu pade savidina jitavamunindo tang te jasa pavatu te Jayamang Galani Duga Hadi Dibujagena Sudatahasang Brahmang Visuddhim Jutimidi Bakal Vidanang Jnana Kadena Vidina Jitava Tangte Jasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani Eta Pibuddha Jaya Mangala Atagata Yova Chakodina Dine Sarate Matandi Hegwa Naneka Vividani Chupadavani Mokang Sukang Adigameya Narosapanyo
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, before we proceed, let us observe a minute of silence and dedicate the merits of Jaya Mangala Kata to Most Venerable Mahavira. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sister Yvonne. And I hope you understand the Jaya Mangala Kata in a more with better understanding. Okay. Now we will proceed to Q&A. Anyone want to share? Not just question and answer. It's just you can share your views and do sharing. Anything. Okay, and not necessary I have to answer. Fellow participants can also answer. Okay. Yeah. Anyone?
Excuse me, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brother Prajit.
The name Anguli Mala. The word Anguli means finger.
Yes.
Mala means garland.
Yes.
So he was a psychopath, a killer, murderer who used to kill people and cut their finger and hang it around his neck like a trophy.
Yes.
he was like this in the dark till he met the Buddha.
Yes.
And that's when his whole life changed. So I take uh, how do I say? Uh, I take cognizance of the fact that if he can change, we all can change.
Okay.
If such a heinous crime he has committed, and he has killed so many people. If he can change, anybody can change.
Yes.
If they walk the path of the Dhamma.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank Sister Ron for the beautiful prayer. The way it was rendered, it really made our day. Thank you.
Okay. I think there's in the chat box. May I know Yaka is from which realm? Anyone want to share? Yeah. May I know Yaka is from which realm? Anyone? The Yakas live in the same realm as the human world. Okay, they actually, I will say that they belong to the Asuras. Okay. Any other sharing? Any questions? Any sharing? Maybe we ask Brother Tan Leng Huat to do some short sharing.
You two brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. It was a pleasure to join you all this morning. Sharing what? Hold on, I just can't get. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay,
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Asuras and Yakas are very strange beings, actually. Yeah. Some of these Asuras also they live with they are in Tower Things of Heaven, actually. Correct? They are in Dhamma things of heaven, and because they enjoy life too much, I know legend goes that they enjoy life too much, that Lord Saka chased them out of their own territory. So they're living somewhere, they say in Mount Meru, or hiding somewhere at the base of Mount Meru, very unhappy. Trying to return to Dhamma things of heaven to claim back their territory. Okay? So that's why there's a lot of rivalry. In short, what we are trying to tell you is that life as a deva is also not that peaceful. Correct? They are also in the samsaric cycle still. Don't forget, the 31 planes are all in the samsaric cycle. Yeah? Being born there does not guarantee you anything. We are still born and reborn, born and reborn. You can be a Brahma, you can be a deva, you can be everywhere. Even in the Arupa jhanas also you are there, in Arupa Loka you are also like that. So but only thing, the unfortunate thing is in the Arupa Loka they can't benefit anymore. So the rest of the realms they will be born and reborn. Even Arupa Loka also, So what I'm trying to say is actually life as a deva, they still have not overcome the greed, hatred, and delusion. There is still a lot of greed, hatred, delusion there. That's why they're still in a samsaric cycle. So our aspiration as a Buddhist actually is to overcome greed, hatred, and delusion. And that is Nibbana. If we can overcome greed, hatred, and delusion in this life itself, we can experience Nibbana. Buddhism is the only religion that says that we can experience the ultimate bliss even when you are still alive with this body. Most of the other religions will say that you have to die to experience the ultimate bliss. Whatever bliss they promise you, you have to die first. Correct? But Buddhism is such that the Buddha says that you can also experience the ultimate bliss in this form. If we can overcome greed, hatred, and delusion, that is an arahant, state of arahanthood. So that's my little bit of sharing. Let me not take too much time, too much of the time. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any volunteers, please? Anyone? Yeah. Any volunteers? Okay, if not, I would like to invite the founding chairman of Metta Lodge, okay, to do a short sharing on today's topic, okay, local video and Anutara Purisa Dhamma Sarati. Brother Jinket, please.
Morning, everybody, brothers and sisters. Well, actually, I didn't expect to be asked to address the esteemed audience here. I see some old faces, because many of you are new to me. Yeah, about the 9 virtues of the Buddha. I think the sharing was done quite well. Only thing, I think there was some technical problem there. I couldn't hear some of the voices. So I don't know what is the issue here. Could it be the bandwidth or something? I'm not sure. So this is one of the feedback. I think that's a technical issue. And yeah, on the 9 virtues of the Buddha, I think this is something I do actually practice on a daily basis, because in my meditation, before I do the Vipassana, which is the main meditation, I will actually do 4 others. One is, of course, the Buddhanusati, reflection on 9 virtues of the Buddha. The second one will be the reflection on death. Because if you don't do the reflection on death every day, you tend to be quite negligent. Negligent in the sense that you think that everything is okay, so you can live long, your health will always be permanent, which is not the case, of course. Then it allows you into a state of what you call complacency. So this Maranusati, or contemplation of death, is actually very useful to wake us all up. Otherwise, there's no urgency to practice. By the way, I'm 64 this year. When I was in my 30 or even late 20s, 64 seems to be a very long way off from where I was. Imagine 30 to 64 is 34 years. But now I'm already 64. Like what the Beatles song, I think Paul Lennon and McCartney, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, remember the song? Some of you may not know because you're too, you may not be born even then. So we are already 64, so is Tuan Chit and some of my classmates, which I'm still in touch. When you are at this age, the meditation actually comes priority, because I actually examine myself very truly and sincerely. Actually, I cannot guarantee myself that I can exist for another 10 years. This comes from the bottom of my heart. 10 more years, I'm not even sure I can live. Because my grandfather died at age 69. Of course, my father, a few years he actually passed away at 73. Now I'm 64. So assuming if I live up to my grandfather's age, I actually only have 5 more years. And 5 more years, if I don't achieve my spiritual goal, then the Buddha would say that this guy also has actually wasted his life as a human being. Now, even though people may say I founded Metta Lodge, or I even founded Buddhist Wisdom Center, of course, all these are very nice memories. Actually, to be frank, nice memories. But at the end of the day, if we don't achieve our spiritual goals, to be completely secure, to be free from the 4 woeful states, to be free from rebirth, then all these things also, all these glories are also no use, because it won't help us in future. And that's why I think today's topic is very apt, because, out of so many eons, there are dark periods where there are no Buddhas. Only particular Buddhas exist, but particular Buddhas, they are only, how would say, drawback, or I wouldn't say drawback, but they don't have the ability of the Buddha to actually preach the Dhamma, where they can also enlighten people to become arahants and all that. So in between all these dark eons, only once in so many eons, a Buddha arises. And he is actually what you call a knower of the worlds, which was actually described by the chairman. And he knows the three aspects of the worlds. And being an enlightened person and an omniscient person, he also knows that the number of people who can actually attain sainthood, don't say arahantship, just say not sotapanna. You can actually count by the amount of dust gathered on top of the fingernail. So can you imagine the whole world, but there's only a little dust on top of your fingernail. And those are the people who might be lucky enough to practice and attain at least sotapanna. The rest will still wander aimlessly. Sometimes in miserable state. Sometimes if they're lucky, they are deva. And lucky, they are human being. Of course, if they are very strong in samatha, sometimes maybe they are brahmas, maybe very few are rupa brahmas, or maybe brahmas and all that. But then the fact is, they actually go round and round and round and round again. So we do not know whether in the next one life or next two life, we can be born as a human being again. We don't even know whether 100 years from now, whether Metta Lodge still exists. And even if Metta Lodge exists, we don't even know whether we can be born as a human. All right, even if you are born as a human, we don't even know whether we may not be a Muslim or not. If we are born Muslim or some other religion, Christian, finish. Or even if Metta Lodge is here, so what? We don't even get to know the Dhamma. So this is how precarious our life is, So for those of you who are in your 40s, 50s, there's still a chance, you still have about 15 years, you can still practice the Vipassana, go for retreat centers, and then aim for your salvation. Rest of us, if we have not really started, a bit difficult, because when you're 60s, you get all kinds of aches and pains. You go to a meditation center, also too cold, and then your arthritis may actually also come back pain, cannot sit long, half an hour, you want to give up, you want to walk again. So it becomes quite difficult. But nevertheless, if you persevere and with the compassion of proper meditation teachers, such as Sayadaws or reverences, you still you still can make it through. And even if you don't attain Sotapatti, Mahasi Sayadaw, the late Mahasi Sayadaw, did say something like this, which is to encourage those who think that they shouldn't practice because too old already or too sick. What Mahasi Sayadaw says is, if you practice Satipatthana, you attain, if you do not attain Maggaphala, but you attain at least the fourth insight knowledge, which is the Udayabhaya Jnana, which is the clear comprehension of the rise and fall of the abdomen very clearly, all right? No conceptual thinking, but you actually see it very, very clearly. The whole process of the rising and falling of the abdomen, all right? You may be assured, if you keep at it, that until the end of your life, right, you will be able to maintain that wholesome state of mind, which if you should die, you can at least be assured that you'll be born as a human. And because of the fact that you have practiced Satipatthana right up to the very moment, and next life, if you are born as a human, it is possible that you may be able to continue with the Satipatthana practice, and thereby eventually and hopefully attain Maggaphala. So that was the word of encouragement for those who think that they cannot. Actually, there's no such thing as cannot. I remember the words of the famous teacher. She is actually a lay woman. She had quite a miserable life, I would say, even up to when she was 55, because one of the child died, then her husband died very young also. But somehow she made her way to the Mahasi Center, and she was very lucky to be able to practice Vipassana under Mahasi. And word was that she actually attained Anagami. If you know Anagami, it is actually the third stage of enlightenment. If you are an Anagami, there's no more greed for sensual pleasures. Of course, also no more anger. No anger, no greed. Of course, delusion is still there, but it's not as terrible as a lot of human beings. Now, one of her favorite saying is this, which she always advised people why you should practice this. Don't listen to the mind. The mind is actually full of stories. You want to do something good, somehow or rather a bad thought will come and say, no lah, I'm too busy. Every day I got to attend to my flowers, my children, my plants, must do gardening lah. No time lah. Must take care of my parent, my father, my husband and all that. Actually, she said, all these are story. Don't believe them, story only, But because you think like that, you attach to the thinking, so it becomes your reality. So why you want to attach to the thinking? Isn't it very stupid? Actually, I think about it, very stupid. The reason is why. Because when you are attached to your thoughts, most of the time, the thoughts tend to be the wrong kind. And these are the thoughts that from life after life, after life, after life, they have been misleading you. Otherwise, why the Buddha talk about Noble Eightfold Path? Why it start with right understanding, right thoughts? So right thoughts is something that we have to cultivate. Not listen to the old record, the old nonsense, the wrong thinking, which is Micca Ditti, and then also a lot of Micca, all the thinking and all that. So if you look at what her advice is, you should be actually encouraged by her. Why she, as a lady, full of misery, child died, husband died, she can also attain Anagami. Not only ordinary Anagami, she had psychic powers. She can actually fly through the window and appear in front of Mahasi Sayadaw and the monks. And then because she also mastered the jhanas, from the earth, she can just suddenly appear from the earth like that in front of people. And she can also go back into time. Then he can come back and tell the monks, hey, how come the Pali those days during Buddha's time so different from the Pali nowadays? Yeah, she can actually do time travel. And you must remember, this is not something which is 100 years ago. She passed away in 1989. That means 30 years, 30 plus, very recent. Now people 30 years ago already can attain Anagami. I'm sure even nowadays, if you actually look into the deep forests of Myanmar or even Thailand, you can also find people who are Anagamis and perhaps even Arahants. So do not think that because we are in the 20th, 21st century, all these things are like a dream. People talk Magaphala, you don't believe. You say, where can? We also full of defilements. Actually, like what this lady said, don't follow the story. All right, you have to make a strong resolution. I must cut out all this nonsense thinking. Be more positive. Who asked you to go and follow all this thinking? All right. So I think I shouldn't say anymore. Otherwise, we go out of the topic. But the thing is, since methodology is my supposed to be founded by me, supposed to be. Actually, my message is very simple. Don't wait until it is too late to practice, because if you wait until too late, you may not even get to practice. You can just die like that. Like I told you, I cannot even be sure next 10 years I'd rather still alive or not. If I die at 69, just like my grandpa, I only got 5 more years. So that's why in 2022, actually I already target, all right, you must have at least 4 retreats a year. And I hope you also make some aspiration to also attain some retreat. If not 4, maybe 2. Of course, you can have 4, much better. Okay, I think that's about it. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you. I wish you all well, and please, do not be negligent, like the Buddha says, strive on with diligence, do not be heedless, because if you are, we actually waste our life as a human being. Thank you.
Okay, sadhu, 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 Brother Rashika, correct. So, so let us nurture the samvega, the spiritual urgency to practice. Okay, because life is so uncertain, but death is certain. Okay, and it can come at any point of time. So can we have one last sharing from one of the participants? Anyone? One last sharing, short one, before we proceed. Anyone? Anyone, please? It's better that you volunteer, especially those who have not spoken. Anyone? Huh? No takers. Sister Sue, you want to share? Don't worry, you don't want to share also okay. Don't feel stressed. Yeah, say a few words, Sister Sue.
Yeah, I think meditation, what Brother Tan say is true. You know, we need to have the urgency because we know that life is impermanent, and we need to practice towards gaining calmness, you know, with meditation, and trying to achieve as much as we can while we are alive. So, Brother Tan, I'm also early 60s, so I'm also facing urgency to do that, and hopefully that able to get the fulfill my aspiration to participate in some retreats this year. Thank you.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So let us make an inspiration as we move on to the year of the tiger onwards, okay, to attend more retreats so that we don't waste this precious human life. And also, last but not least, okay, if you found that this Dhamma study group, 9 Attributes of the Buddha, has been very beneficial to you, please recommend to your friends, okay, to join future intakes, okay, and it's being conducted not only in Malaysia, it's also conducted in Canada, okay, and very soon we're going also conducted in China, okay, in the Mandarin version of the 9 attributes, and very soon we will be conducting in India. Okay, next slide, please.
So you reside in the mind. Huh? Then after 20 times, you try to pick up one virtues. They say Arahang. Then before you can take the Buddha image behind me as object of your contemplation. Now you open your eyes and look at the Buddha image. You see how serene, how peaceful, how pure his mind. So try to recollect, see his face, his serene posture, his face, his compassion, his wisdom, and his effort. So he's sitting there, never moved, right? So then after that, then you can, looking at the Buddha image, at the same time, mentally recite Arahang, 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 Arahang. Then gradually, like 1 minute, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Then you keep reciting in the mind, Arahang, Arahang, Arahang. When you recite Arahang, don't do so fast. If you do too fast, you get tired. But if you too slow, Arahang, then you feel sleepy. So middle, middle, Arahang, Arahang. Then when you recite Arahang, Arahang, your mind must thoroughly understand the meaning of Arahang, as I have explained to you already. If you just recite Arahang without understand the meaning, there will be no joy, happiness, and faith in you. So while reciting, you already understand. Arahang means what? Killer of all defilements. So therefore he is peace, happy, pure. So you also can imagine, if I also like Arahang, no more defilement, wow, what happy my life is. So you must try yourself, try any method to make yourself happy and joyful. So Arahang, Arahang, you recite few words Arahang, Arahang, then you remember the meaning of Arahang. Cure of defilements, then Arahang, 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 worthy of respect by all men and gods. So again, you recite Arahang, Arahang few times, then recollect his meaning. Then after again Arahang, 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 then recollect another meaning again. And once a while, remember the image of the Buddha in your mind. Not all the time. All the time your mind get very tired. But once a while, keep that image in your mind. At the same time, recite Arahang, Arahang, Arahang. After sometimes you recollect the image again, then Arahang, Arahang, and recollect the meaning of Arahang again. Okay? This one you can do about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, first time you do, you will have a lot of joy, happiness, and faith. But after 15 minutes, joy, happiness slowly go down, come down, slowly disappear. At the time, what to do? I would like to suggest you recollect another virtue, Samma Sambuddho, to prevent the mind get boring, to prevent the mind losing the joy and happiness. So you reflect, Samma Sambuddho, change to another virtues. Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, understand the meaning. He get enlightened by himself rightly, without any guidance from other teacher. And it become enlightenment simply out of compassion for us. So keep on reflecting. Sometimes the tear may come up. The tear may drop from your eyes. That's good, because you are touched by Buddha's compassion. Okay? Then keep on, Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, with his meaning for 15 minutes. Then if you feel boring again, then you shift to another virtues, Buddho, 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 Buddho. Then you understand the Buddho means awaken to the Four Noble Truths. Then you recollect a little bit what's the meaning of Four Noble Truths. Only then you will appreciate why awaken to the Buddha, to the truth is called Buddho. So 15 minutes, then all 45 minutes. Okay? Same thing when you do walking. After this time, after this, there will be walking meditation. But since AVMC has no flat land, those, if you find no place to walk, you can do standing meditation. Stand on the floor, then just recollect Arahang, Arahang, Samma Sambuddho, or keep on reciting these 9 virtues again and again. Or you can find any place to walk, up there, down there, any place you want to walk. If you don't want to walk, you just do standing meditation. Okay, the way of doing is the same, only posture different. When you walk, you also recite Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno to keep your mind occupied with Buddha's virtues. Okay, and if you feel sleepy, do standing meditation. Okay, and after you recollect, spend 45 minutes for these 3 virtues, Arahang, Samma Sambuddho, and Buddho, and later on, you will feel which one you feel more touching, which one you feel maybe among these 3, let's say Buddho. When you recollect the quality of Buddho, you feel more touch and more joy, happiness, and faith. Then gradually you should stick to only one. You change to another virtues only when your mind get boring, your mind get restless, the mind get not interested. Then you shift to another virtues. Then you will have new joy, happiness, and faith again. This is the way how to do it, skillful way how to overcome your hindrances. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Anyone want to share your meditation experience? Any volunteers? Please continue to contemplate on the 9 attributes of the Buddha. If not, Sister Sumitra, next slide, please.
Brother and sister in the Dhamma, now we will share the merits. Please fold our palms together. We share the merits we have accumulated today from chanting, discussing the Dhamma, and meditation practice. With all devas, all creatures, and all sentient beings, far or near, seen or unseen, may all beings rejoice and gain from our merits. May they be well and happy. May all beings always be guided by the triple gems towards full liberation. Idang me punyang asa wakaya wahang hotu. Idang me punyang nippanasa pacayo hotu. Mama punya bagang sabba sattanang bajemi te sape me samang punya pagang labantu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now back to you, Brother Lim.
Okay, thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Okay, on this Chinese New Year Eve, we have a special unison service to usher in the Year of the Tiger 2022 on 31st January, 11 p.m. All are welcome. Okay, we will chant the Karaniya Metta Sutta 10 times. And we will also chant the Jaya Mangala Gatha, okay, just before midnight, so that we bring the joyous victory of the Buddha over to the new year. And before we move on, may rain fall in due season. May our harvest be rich. May the world prosper. May the rulers be righteous. In Pali, Devo Fasatu Kalena Sasa Sampatihi Tucha. Pito Bhavatu Lokocha Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko. Devo is rain, Vasatu is fall. So may the rain fall in due season. Okay, which actually talk about protecting the environment, about environmental balance. Sasa Sampa Tihi Tucha. May our harvest be rich or bountiful. Here we are talking about economic prosperity. Pito Bhavatu Lokocha. May the world prosper. Here the world actually refer to the people of the world. Okay, prosper here actually to Buddhist means may the people be happy and contented. And of course, Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko, good governance. Okay, and be it the government or even ESCO members of Buddhist society, it is important that we govern the society well through skillful means, because if we govern with unskillful means, it will lead to unwholesome results. Such is the ancient Buddhist wisdom for sustainable growth and development. This is actually a preamble. This is a sustainable development triangle, which is a preamble to the Constitution of Sri Lanka. Now, normally in Patana or aspiration or wish, there are two aspects. This is the mundane one, okay? And through good governance, through skillful means of good governance, we protect the environment. And by protecting the environment, it will create the condition for economic prosperity and social stability. The other patana or aspiration is on the spiritual path. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo. Santam samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. By this merit that I have acquired, may I never follow the foolish, but only the wise, up to the time that we attain nibbana, the ultimate bliss. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So this is a very, this patana is very, very popular in the chanting books and also the spiritual aspect, where we will not, we make an aspiration never to follow the foolish, but only to the wise until we attain enlightenment. Next, please. Happy New Year, brothers and sisters. Maybe wish each other, you can unmute yourself. Okay, and I wish you good health, happiness, and a harmonious year ahead. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and start wishing each other.
Happy New Year, brothers and sisters.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you, brothers
New Year,
and
brothers and
sisters.
sisters.
Thank you.
To all
Happy
brothers
New
and
Year.
sisters, may you have peace and harmony.